you can censor out the business talk if it comes to any sort of critical stuff like money and things like that.
Anything libelous.
I don't know.
Do you put your face in your videos much?
Well, I used to do that like 2 years ago, but I think my viewers never really enjoyed this blog style, so I didn't really stick with that. But they know my face. I've also been on TV here in Germany. I've been in a TV show, so I've been out there. People know my name, but most of the YouTube viewers, they might not even know who I am if it doesn't have at least a hint to the name of my channel, because they only know me as the post-apocalyptic inventor. So I got the it's thinking back like 6 or 7 years. Maybe it wasn't the best idea. I get all these awkward emails all the time where people call me the post-apocalyptic inventor, and I always thought as well, this is the internet, so you have to come up with a cool name. And
I only use my real name because YouTube at one time said, if you use your real name, you'll get additional benefits. This was a long time ago. And so I used my real name, and I wish I hadn't.
They were trying to force that for a while, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
They just kind of basically just
Okay,
forced
so
everybody
I
to
will
use their own
leave and
name.
I will come right back in.
Okay. I'll turn my supercomputer on for extra effect then. Although it'll probably, if it causes compression issues, let me know.
Yeah, I think I've got some competition for you, Clive, on the supercomputer front. I'll show
right,
you a bit
okay.
later.
You can do what everybody else does and try and spot the dead LEDs in it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's reduced your frame rate a lot.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, should I just leave it unplugged, you reckon?
It does appear to have slowed you right down, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. So I'll do the test. This is before supercomputer with it on, right? Okay.
Go on then.
Wrong now.
And this is with the supercomputer off.
Same for me.
All right,
Same
so
for
it's
me.
not. All right, so it's granular anyway. You guys can choose supercomputer on or off.
Oh, I like it.
All right, okay. I shall plug it in. If you want a supercomputer, the circuit board, the Gerber files are already. Is it Gerber or Gerber?
Gerber.
Gerber. Okay.
GIF or GIF.
Yeah. So if you want the Gerber files on bigclive.com, you can just download it, and it's ready in the zip file just to go straight to GLC PCB or whoever you want. So I don't know what's happening this year. Are they having a new year this year?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so. I think it'll be hard to stop them.
Yeah.
It's very big over there.
It's like
It is,
our Christmas.
It is.
The one question I actually wanted to pose as we're on here is how people getting any silly emails besides the silly spam stuff and what have you. I've found that I get a lot of targeted emails getting me to click on links where they're actually addressing me in person, where they're trying to fool me with an email or stuff. And I know, Dave, at one point you said that you've been kind of targeted. I mean, not just to your address. Haven't people looked up your physical address?
That is weird.
I had this happen to me once. There was when I had just moved to my workshop back in 2016 or something. There was like this lorry in the background, and it said like, I don't know, so-and-so's fish market or something. And someone typed that into Google, and then some weird guy contacted me and asked me, so is it right that you live so-and-so street? And I never confirmed nor denied that.
Yeah, I've had people
kind of creepy.
I've had people find my address and send me gifts, which is pretty strange.
Okay, that's one step further already.
Or
Well, they're
email.
relevant gifts. I mean, it was a bunch of circuit boards with LEDs on them.
Oh, that was a sweeping statement, but true.
There are no crazies in Australia at all.
The Isle of Man is too isolated to be stopped successfully.
Yeah, I saw something on the telly that showed you're not in lockdown anymore.
No, we're off lockdown. We've been off lockdown most of the year, but just during the New Year celebrations, a student came back to visit his family for Christmas and New Year and brought it back with him, and there was a breakout again, and they did what they called a circuit breaker lockdown for exactly 3 weeks, and it just nipped it in the bud, and we're back to normal again.
So can you go to the pub?
Yes.
Oh, heavens.
Okay.
It sounds fine. Yeah.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm recording my voice. I don't think it would have recorded my voice. There
Okay.
you go.
Actually, I'm
There
quite
we
glad
go
we
now.
missed that bit.
Is this now going to be the bit where you actually get it from the Zoom stream and your voice, but it's slightly out of sync?
Probably doubled up now. It's oh god. Anyway, is anyone else actually recording?
No.
In case I screw it up. No one cares.
Yeah.
I
Thing
don't
is,
plan
could
to
we-
make a video out of this, put it that way.
If we
I'll try.
could we have streamed it directly to YouTube, I wonder? I mean, that's a terrible
You
idea,
have to
live
go,
streaming,
I believe
because
you have to go via. I've wanted to do this because I've wanted to do like Zoom Hangouts like this, but live interact with the audience as well. And you used to use Google Hangouts Live, it was called, which was different to Google Hangouts, and it never worked properly.
Okay.
It was garbage.
Oh.
Whereas Google Hangouts worked, but the live version didn't. So you can do it if you stream it through XSplit or Streamlabs or one of those other software, but it's a complicated setup. You can do it, apparently.
Streamlabs, I think that's the one the guys have been using. I've been joining a group in America on a sort of occasional live stream. I'm pretty sure it's Streamlabs they used. Oh, StreamYard.
StreamYard,
It was called StreamYard.
Yeah, they're different.
And it worked.
Yep.
It seemed to work fine.
Dave, you mentioned dropping off your kids. So they're doing in school. You're not doing virtual then.
Oh no! The only virtual, the only homeschooling we did was back in March, April, something like that, during our first lockdown, and it coincided with school holidays anyway. So we only had to homeschool them for like 2 or 3 weeks. It wasn't long, and then they were back at school. And then they realised, that it wasn't spreading in the schools, and they've been back ever since. There's no issues here with schools at all. Nobody wears masks. There's no. At first, back in April or something, there was when they went back, they had sort of, they were a bit paranoid and they were separating the kids a little bit. But then they just realised, no, it's not. We didn't get any cases from the schools at all from the spread of the kids, and no, everything's been normal for the last 9-10 months. Something's very different here. There's something different in the air. There's, it's like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, we have zero spread here at all.
What's the situation in the UK, anyways, these days? Do you have a lockdown or?
Yeah,
we're locked down completely at the moment.
Well, technically, yes, but if you go out and walk down the street, you really wouldn't know it. Apart from pubs being closed and a few masks, there's almost as much traffic as usual. There's some shops shut, but compared to the first one, it's everyone's just bored with it and are paying very little attention.
Where are you though, Mike? Whereabouts are you?
Just outside London, Essex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same here. Streets are as busy as ever, and it's been like a lockdown for almost 2 months now. But seriously, if I compare this to the situation in April when we had that first so-called lockdown, there was a lot less traffic on the streets. So people have really gotten used to this, and we can still go anywhere. It's not like in France, where I heard at least that people can't even leave a 1 kilometer radius around their house or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's at least an actual lockdown. I think they have like curfews, and you can't leave the house after 6 p.m. or something like that. It's really early also.
Mm.
So I think this is the best time for like coming up with some VR tourism. Maybe you should, like Clive, you could run around with a camera on the Isle of Man. I would like to see that place.
Yep.
Okay, that's an idea. It's
Don't
mainly
hear
just
those, haven't you?
I really think that people appreciate this now a little more than in like usual situations, because there are really lots of people who can't go out at the moment, and they can't travel, they can't see places where they don't live. So if you're somewhere that has anything to offer, like landscape wise, maybe try that.
The sea.
Naomi Wu comes to mind with her 360-degree camera.
Yeah.
Albeit we all know what Ebdi was really looking at.
It's actually
360 degrees. No thanks. Over my dead body, am I shooting 360-degree video? No.
It was good because you could look up and around and things like that. Okay, she did also take it into lesbian bars and things like that, which was also interesting.
It was quite funny watching her walking around the markets and watching the reactions of some of the people that were watching her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Staring at her boobies.
They
Yes.
probably know her quite well now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although probably not as
I've done
much
quite
as-
a few videos walking around, like, showing life in Sydney and stuff like that. I think I've done 3 of those videos now, and they're not that popular, but the comments on there are just, like, because people don't understand that COVID's seems to be very different here. Our lifestyle, everything's just, with 0 cases, they can't understand why everyone's not wearing masks, and they all just freak out in the comments. Everyone just goes nuts.
The militants.
People
Well, it
don't
kinda seems to
understand that it's very different in other places of the world. They just think that because they're in trouble, that everyone else has to, the rest of the world has to be in the same sort of predicament.
Just because Australia hasn't bought into the whole conspiracy that it's all fake.
Right.
But it's real like that. I feel like I have to explain everything all the time. For example, in some of my videos, I go shopping to places like buying like metal stock or something, and then I have to explain that the dealership is actually open for business. And it's kind of weird because many viewers are not capable of seeing things from another perspective sometimes, and they're confused when they see this, and they will always judge, of course. So that's how we do it in Germany.
That's like the Scotland versus England, isn't it? The Dutch versus the Germans.
Yeah, absolutely.
So am I the only one here who's not at home?
Yeah.
No.
I'm at home.
Your homes seem to look like electronics labs a lot.
Yep, I'm in a
This is
commercial
home.
office.
Technically, I'm in a garage, detached garage at the bottom of the garden.
Okay.
But I spend more time here than I do in the house, so this is probably home.
Right.
Julian, I saw on your channel that you were building this shed in your garden. This wooden
Yeah,
shed.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's so cold at the moment that if I go out there, it takes an hour to warm it up. And so I tend not to. But I think when it gets a little bit warmer, I'll be out there more.
Yeah, I found a solution to that problem. You have a switch in the house that turns the workshop heating on.
Yeah, I've got the
Oh.
little smart home remote controlled power thing now, so I can do it on my phone, which is quite good.
Oh.
Martin's done that, haven't you, Martin? You built, what happened to that giant, huge workshop you're building out the back yard? Oh, is that?
Oh no,
right?
so not backyard. So this is 15 minutes from home.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So this is where Chris, I don't know if Chris stayed here when he came down.
Yes, he told me that. Yep.
So this is where he stayed. So this is my office. So it's 15 minutes from home.
Oh, I thought it was on your property.
No.
Ah.
I bought a separate piece of land about 15 minutes from home.
Wow. That's
This
fantastic.
is and it's a sanity saver because my wife works from home, and she doesn't want me with all my clobber at home, so I'm quite happy to have my own
So you
space.
don't have any kit at home at all then?
No.
That's exactly what my wife said. Like, she doesn't want me working, even if we had the room on our property to build an entirely separate studio right down in the back corner. She doesn't want me on the land while she's home working, because she's working almost permanently from home now, because she's in a government job and the government mandate is to, work from home if you want. So she works from home. So she wants, So even if we had the room, which we don't, nah.
But why would she not want you there if it was like a separate annex or something?
Because I'm just annoying. She wouldn't want me there. I don't know. She just, no, go to your office, go. So I've got this separate, I bought this 10 years ago when I went full time at this thing, or just after I went full time. And I thought it was a shitload of money then. It was a big gamble, and now it's like, now it's gone up 250%. So I'm actually glad I bought my little tiny windowless 50 square meter office in a commercial office building. But it's been the best thing I ever did. So
there's no way I could afford even a shed around here. The prices are crazy.
Well, this one I'm in now is worth about $500,000.
Oh.
So if I sold it now, $500,000, I paid $195,000 for it.
Heavens.
Okay.
And and then they installed the Sydney Metro, which is a modern train line here. That we'd never had a train line out here. Once they installed it, like it's almost right next to it's right near my office here. Once they installed that,
and that's why the prices have gone up.
the prices just went crazy, which never happens with commercial real estate. But Sydney, Sydney's just nuts.
Still worth that after COVID.
Oh yeah. I personally know 5 different businesses just in the 2 buildings, this one and the other one, which I was renting in for a while because it was bigger. I know half a dozen businesses who are downsizing. So there's my old one, they can't rent it, they can't sell it. So the bigger it is, the bigger offices are really, there's a lot of vacancy. When businesses realized, employees can work from home and my business didn't collapse, then they went, why are we paying for all this office space, So they're all downsizing.
Sure. No, that's nuts. I mean, I was lucky to get this piece of land 3-4 years ago, and now in the States, it's like crazy. Property prices have just gone nuts. They're calling Zoom cities because people don't have to work in California. Everyone's leaving California.
Yeah.
Big companies and people are leaving California. And this neck of the woods in North Carolina around Asheville, you've still got 4 seasons, so the climate isn't that bad. And the cost of property hasn't been too bad compared with the rest of the country. So people are just flocking here. So it poses a problem for us because we want to downscale the house we built in Black Mountain, which is 15 minutes out of Asheville. And land is just disappearing and prices are just going nuts. Yeah.
But then the price of your property must be going up as well.
Yes. I mean, thankfully, at least we invested in property, so we're not going to be left behind. But we literally right now, we've just literally put an offer on another piece of land because we want to stay in Black Mountain, but we don't want to live, when our daughter leaves home, we don't want to live in the house we've got. And land which has been available for the last 3 or 4 years, just sitting on the market, non-buying. It's just in the last 3 or 4 months, just disappeared. So now I'm scrabbling to find a smaller piece of land where we can build a smaller home because my wife would like to retire earlier, but it's disappearing quickly. But yeah.
Property speculators and land speculators are just kind of ruining everything a little bit. Here in the Isle of Man, the cost of property is ridiculous, and people seem to buy old houses as investments, but then just let them rot away unoccupied just because they own the land, so to speak. It's very strange.
Yeah,
it's a store of value.
Yeah.
Even if
here it's all
used.
propped up by the government. I mean, the rule of government here. It doesn't matter who you vote in. Housing here in Australia is so sacred, the government will not let it crash. They will do whatever to the economy. They'll print as much money as they want. They'll do as much tax breaks as they want. They will never, the government that lets the real estate market crash here is the government that will fail because everyone's invested in real estate. It's like a right here in Australia. It's like, you have the right to own a home and for it to go up in value. It's like,
It makes it harder for the younger generation to actually get a foot in the door, so to speak. They're ending up renting a little squalid shack, and you can't start putting racks and stuff up in rented accommodation so easily.
Yeah. Just a warning. I've seen a 10-minute warning pop up because I've obviously not got the commercial version of this.
Oh, are they going to boot us out? Are they?
The last time I had a meeting, it didn't happen, but just a heads up. 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it says it at the top.
All right.
So if it stops, can we start another one?
We have 1 minute left.
All right. I'm using my phone for this. I've not had a message.
Yeah, I can see it on the screen here. Yeah, it's I do have the commercial version of Zoom. I got it just so I could do like interviews and stuff if I need to do interviews and things. So I think I've got like the full version or something.
Does that mean if it dies, Dave's got to restart it?
Could this be a time to compare platforms like, say, for instance, Google Hangouts and see which one's the best?
Yeah, I definitely want to know that. because I want to do remote interviews, as I said, and it's like, yeah, I need something that's really professional, that does its own recording, so it can't be goofed up and stuff like that.
Are you thinking of taking on more people?
Me? No.
Yeah. When you say interviews, not interviews for him.
Oh no, actually no. Interviews with guests.
Okay.
Interviews. Yeah. Because I'm lazy. Like, I should have used this whole lockdown thing and taken advantage that everyone's at home. So I could be interviewing all these guests. It'd be great, but I'm just too lazy to do it.
During the lockdown, I started doing live streams every single week, and it's been quite popular. I did it because I thought, people will be stuck at home. They're like getting a bit desperate. I thought I'll just do some live streams on the Big Clive Live channel, which is why you can see, well, you might not see it because it's cropping the image off here. You can see it. But I decided to give that a go, and it's been a popular thing. Everybody just basically smokes herbs and drinks and just hangs out. It's almost like a pub meeting online.
Right. And you find that it was good that you split it out? You split the channel off, the live version?
I thought that was safer because it does involve profanities from time to time, including... For instance, did you know that the C word carries the same force as the N word and I can say it, faggot. See, it's in the same category, those three words. The C word, the N word, and the F word.
Yeah, faggot's a beef thing that you eat for your dinner.
Yeah,
it is. They sell them at the local co-op. They're okay.
That's an American thing. Faggot means nothing here.
Yeah, no, here it was kids' cigarettes. They're candy fags, they're called.
Oh,
well, they
right,
used to be when I was a kid. I don't know if they're around the world, but I think they're an Australian thing. These, little candy cigarette things. They used to be called candy fags because Michael know because fag is a cigarette. Right?
That's you can smoke a fag.
I grew up, you can smoke a fag, right?
So
and
we
that's
had the candy.
Common terminology here.
Oh yeah.
So,
you can still buy the candy cigarettes here. They're the little white sticks of candy, but they used to colour the end red to make it look like a cigarette.
Yep.
They don't colour the end red anymore, so it's just a white candy stick now.
And they changed the name here. They're called Fun Sticks.
And candy sticks here. Yeah.
Oh, that's much better, to be honest.
The other one I get is I point with my middle finger a lot when I'm doing videos.
Yeah.
I point at things. I tend not to use my index finger. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I get so much flack over it.
I do that as well because the middle finger is not rude here. It's just, our equivalent is the Vicky, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'll start pointing, then I'll suddenly change finger. I'll go, oh, that's the wrong finger that I'm pointing with here.
The middle finger is catching on over here a bit.
It is, yes.
We don't blur them out on videos like the Americans do. That's just ridiculous.
But people get really offended and they say, it's offensive, you shouldn't do it.
I know.
Well, I will do it.
You like your viewer demographic, but I have a lot of senior citizens in the audience, and I sometimes get, I think especially like American grandpas, and they often, they have said things like, I really like that you don't swear because I can't watch the videos with my grandchildren. And I thought it was kind of lovely, so I try not to say, I don't even try to use the word hell anymore, even though it wasn't my last video, I guess. Because that's not really considered a swear word around here, but,
I have a rule that I don't drop the F-bomb in videos, but apart from that, it's like what's wrong with calling something bullshit? I get the occasional, email, you're trying to watch it with my kid and you're swearing a bit. It's like, well,
life.
I know. Sorry, go and watch somebody else.
Like the kids haven't heard those words at school anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not that. And online, the grandpas don't know what sites those kids have been on.
Yeah.
So we should have a plan. We should have a plan for what we're going to do in 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, Martin, can you send us another invite? I mean, I could send an invite. Right. I will attempt to do that. So if you don't get an email in a couple of minutes, I've come
that it's all gone wrong.
Yep.
It's all gone horribly wrong.
With the free one, do you get another 10 minutes, or does it reduce every time to 10, 9, 8? You're going to cram it shorter and shorter each time.
I'm going to have to run my email up now, which is going to stress my Celeron.
I'd be interested to know if my paid version gives us more bandwidth or something. It allocates like, better performance
well, it might
or something
do.
maybe.
Higher supercomputer resolution.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it might be internet connection limited as much as anything else, I'd have thought.
Oh dear, the old Celeron struggling.
Yeah.
Celeron.
I need to
Celeron with
update.
4 gigs of RAM.
I'm using a Chromebook here, and it's quite an old Chromebook now by relative standards, but it still blows Windows out the water. But I do need a more powerful computer because at some point I am going to have to edit something.
Yes, you never edit anything, do you?
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
all
don't
done on.
understand that.
It's all done on the phone, including if you notice the volume was given a boost recently. It's an app called Audio Fix. It's just you hit one button and it does it, and that's it. It's not reliable, but when it works pretty well.
Oh, heavens. Yeah, I've literally, that was the reason my setup is messed up. I've literally just upgraded to improve my render times on my PC. And it's in 6 years, it's quite amazing the technology, GPU and CPU. My render time is 4 times faster now, which is incredible.
It's ridiculous, and that's all down to the gaming industry with their graphical processors, which have more power than the rest of the computer.
Yep. Nuts. Over the years, I've been like, I used to not care about the editing, like, I'd leave in all the ums and ahs and the pauses and the, if I repeat something, I wouldn't bother taking it out. But now I'm super paranoid about that. I'll take out little ums and ahs, especially if I edit my video and it comes out and it's like 21 minutes long or 22 minutes long. I go, damn, I've got to get it under 20 minutes. So I'll go back through and edit, do a second pass edit, and I'll snip out absolutely everything and get it. So if you see one of my videos at like 19 minutes and 58 seconds, I've, you know it was like 23 minutes and I aggressively edited down, because people notice that when they scrolling through all the videos or whatever in their feed, they go, oh, their mind just goes, oh, nope, we're gone.
10 minutes, and somebody else who had the pro account from some university or something had to relaunch the thing so we could use it in our free time for like everybody like was drinking and joking around, and good that they had the pro account from the university,
Yeah, I think I've got a pro account. Like I paid something for it because it had some extra features that including longer than 10 minutes. If I want to interview someone, I mean, come on. Yeah.
That's a kind of a strategy, kicking out people after 10 minutes so they can works, but then
there's Mike. Yep.
Before you get to anything.
Come on, where are the others?
Didn't need the password either.
Oh, really? You didn't need the password?
No.
Oh, that reminds me. I was testing out different streaming platforms, so I made the mistake of putting the invite out on Twitter so that somebody could join me and then just like test it. And the first person who joined, it was just someone with their dick out. The internet, it's like, come on. Stupid me, of course.
You don't tweet your Zoom meeting.
No.
Mike's disappeared, though.
Mike's disappeared. Maybe he had a connection issue. All right, this is the pro. This is the pro account, apparently.
Yeehaw. So Dave, following on what you're saying about editing because I edit out all the gaps and everything because just my videos are long anyway. I'm not going to try and do a short one. But the problem I have is lip smacks.
Oh,
right?
Really?
So I literally scan my audio timeline and look for these bloody little spikes just to snip them out.
Is this because people complain about these things all the time? I say people, one person always complains. You ate something in the video. Well, I'm unsubscribed.
I do deliberate lip smacks as markers. So if I'm doing an on-screen grab, I'll go like that so that I know when the shot starts.
I've got a low pass filter on my mic on the cam, and also this desktop mic. I've got like a physical inline low pass filter here, so it'll take out any, and I've got a pop filter as well. So,
it's not USB. Is it analog?
It's a analog mic. It's not a USB mic. It's going in. Oh, there's that pop again. There's that static. The static in my ear, I swear. Because I've got metal earbuds. Oh, it just zaps me. It's really annoying. I've got to go in.
Mike left us.
Sorry?
Has Mike left us?
Oh, he'll be
I don't know
back.
where he
Probably.
went.
He's probably just struggling with science at the moment, as all technical people do.
Yeah, so I've got a Rode AI1 like interface USB to XLR interface unit. So I plugged my mic into that. Got my speakers through that as well. So I try and match so I've got Rode mic here for doing the voiceover stuff, and also a Rode mic on my camcorder as well, because it has the XLR inputs, so the mics actually sound the same. So if I mix my voiceover footage with my record behind camera footage, then they sound, similar. So
I've never worried about that. My screen grabs sound totally different to my camera shots.
Oh, right. Yeah, it just bugs me, that they used to sound different. So I fixed that. So yeah, they sound pretty similar now. I should get the exact same mic, but Rode has that Rode sound, so it doesn't really matter if you get the different models. They sound very similar.
Is that the Australian company you're representing there?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, just checking.
Rode. They've actually invited me, before this whole COVID thing happened, they invited me to their factory here, because they actually make almost everything here in Australia. They're vertically integrated. They've got their own pick and place machines and everything. Their own metal machines to do all the metal work and casting and all that sort of stuff, apparently.
Well, that surprises me, actually.
Yeah.
That suddenly raises their status considerably.
Yep. The mic
buying...
I'm using now, made in Australia,
They're not just buying cheap Chinese crap then?
Nope.
Because
I think there's a couple of models they get made over there, but most of it's here.
I've actually been at the Sennheiser plant like 10 years ago.
Nice.
And they really made everything themselves. Maybe not the screws, but they made the casings.
Yep.
And every little part, they had all kinds of crazy contraptions to build, like, I don't know, for laser sputtering or something like that. So it was really from the casing, the electronics, the wireless, everything. And they were just about to outsource some of that stuff to China, though. That was
really?
Yeah.
As they always do.
Rode are doing everything. They actually make their own microphone inserts here, so they make their own capsules and everything. Almost everything's made here. So, yeah, it's great. Anyway, so they invited me there before all the COVID stuff went down, and that was like a year ago now, so I'm going to have to get back out there and do a tour.
Yeah.
Doing well. You see Rode on so many YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Especially those little square radio mics, the little clip-on self-contained wireless thing.
Yep. Yeah, I've got one of those for my portable kit. Oh, Mike, you will love this. Check out what I got. Here we go. I'll see if I can get my... This is more up your alley, but obviously I can't ship it. But let's see if this works. That is a 10-watt ion laser. It's a 10. Right. So it's a coherent.
Innova.
Sorry.
Is that an Innova?
It's a coherent Skylight 300C, and that's the power supply for it. That's the three. It's like a three-phase, 30 kilowatts in for 10 watts out. So I'm going to do a teardown. It's enormous, big laser and giant power supply.
Did you cut a hole in your wall with that?
No. Is the power supply water cooled?
Sorry?
The tube will be water cooled. Is the power supply water cooled as well?
Yes, it's the laser head is water cooled. I don't know but it goes into the power supply, so maybe it is water cooled too as well. Yeah. So
it's got to be illegal for you to have that, isn't it?
I don't know.
Is it color? Is it wavelength tunable? If it's the ion.
Yeah, you can get different. I don't know. You can get different plugins for it.
Normally it's down to the gas that's inside. If it's they use argon, krypton, or a mixture. With argon, you can get up to about eight different lines from like a pale blue down to a fairly deep green.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
krypton in, you can get some red out of it as well.
Is it the helium ion laser was the one that was fully tunable across the full spectrum? It was commonly used as a super expensive disco laser back in the day. because you
There we
could
go.
actually, it could do all the colors, but nowadays, of course, it's just red, green, blue, solid
Yep.
state lasers.
Well, this one actually comes from the guy I interviewed on the Amp Hour who does those outdoor laser projection systems, you know. So, yeah, this one was used for outdoor displays. And he said, like the color on this just cannot be beat. The new modern RGB ones, yes, you can just buy a 10-watt RGB laser on eBay or something these days, but they're just not the same as these huge ion lasers.
That's what all the old people say with their argon lasers.
I've actually got a yellow helium neon tube, which is quite cool.
That is
Very
kind of rare. Yeah. I've got some helium neon lasers. I'll have to dig them out at some point. Mainly the 635 nanometer.
Yeah, 633, I think, is helium neon.
Okay.
The helium neons do look a lot nicer than the lead ones. The beam quality is so much nicer.
It's got a much longer lasing cavity, so you get a much sharper, more, you know, for the same power, it'll go much, you'll be able to actually hit flats in the distance out your window, which is how I used to test it.
So what is everyone's most popular type of video? Because I do like, you know, 24 different types of videos, and it's like,
you know, it's the controversial ones, but you can't just do controversial ones all the time, because otherwise it would just get boring. I think it was Adam the Woo recently was saying that, you know, he could do all his popular videos, the ones that he knows everybody loves, but when it comes to crunch, he wants to do the ones that he enjoys making, and he knows they're going to have a smaller audience, but it has to be done because, you know, it panders to that. It has to be done, basically. You know, the less part you make videos that you just know are quite a lot of work to make, really expensive to make, but they're not going to get a big audience. But ultimately, you still have to make them because they're part of the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that's the problem I've got, because my channel was built on having a wide variety of different types of videos. So now I feel like, you know, like I have to keep doing every different type of video just to keep all my subscribers at least happy occasionally.
Variety is the spice of life.
I've given up trying to get that viral video now. I'm not bothered.
I don't bother. Yeah, it's like, nah.
Mine happened accidentally. Like the Dubai lamp got such a mixed reaction, but it went absolutely ridiculous. But the latest one that's really peaking is this lovely Chinese product. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a 3-phase circuit breaker, and it's got all the symbols on it for the overcurrent detection, and it's rated 6 amps with a C trip characteristic. But inside is let me get one apart that doesn't fall instantly to bits. Inside is just a hold on, let me see. Fake. It's absolutely, that's all that's in it. It's a fake circuit breaker. It's a bit's fallen out. But the thing is, there's no current sensing. It's basically a switch.
Well, that wire would fuse at some point, I'm sure.
It would, but I think
burn through at some point. So
it's probably rated the best part of 100 amps. So it's going to go at some point.
And so how many views did you get on that one?
Hold on, it's a fairly recent one. Let me just double check. It's currently standing 136,000.
Jesus, I haven't had 136,000 views on anything for, like, I'll get that a couple of times a year, maybe. It's just like one in 50 videos will be that popular. It's just,
That's it. It's, you know, but the other stuff has to be made, because otherwise your channel would just be boring if it was pandering to the general masses.
Exactly.
That's where ElectroBoom, Mehdi, has absolutely hit the jackpot, because he combines the sort of like he gets a much wider audience, because he's combining technology with humor, and you know, people love seeing the silly guy blow himself up. Yeah,
of course.
I must say the really weird thing is that I have a bunch of videos that are, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, and people still watch them on some days. A couple of thousand people watch videos that I uploaded in 2015 or something. And there are months where I'm not very active, like in December, for example. I said to myself, okay, it's like the holiday season and you're going to have less output. So
that's the best month to have output.
Yeah, I know.
You should take January off.
Yeah, I know. That's true. I was planning to do that, but then I got sick. I I didn't catch Corona as far as I know, but I had a really bad cold. So I was basically knocked out for 2 weeks. So I was just playing, at the end of the day, I was just sitting at home playing video games. And I probably lost the best, like highest revenue month of that year, which is kind of sad, but I couldn't do anything against it. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say is, in that moment, my analytics were a little strange because I didn't have any up-to-date videos. So it showed me like what are the most watched videos at this moment, and it was like 3 videos watched like 2,000 to 6,000 times over the last 48 hours, which I made in 2015, 2016. And those are like long-term videos that still have an audience. There are people who watch those. And then I actually have found 1 or 2 formats that like will bring over 100,000 views every time I upload that, but they're like 100+ hours work videos.
Ooh.
So it's not.
I can't imagine spending 100 hours. My rule is if I can't make a video in 1 day, I won't do it. You know, it's like
same there.
My latest upload was 2 days ago, and it's now at around 190,000 views. That was a pretty good start.
Yeah.
But it's a 24-minute video, and it's like edited with like thousands of cuts and all kinds of. It's like, I would say maybe 130 hours went into that. But the thing is, the crazy.
Sounds like a Greg Scott video.
That strategy really pays off for me because I really suck at making short videos that are compelling to people. And I'm not the guy to make like casual blogs. I know that, Dave, this has been your style from the beginning, you know, to be off the cuffs and so on, but it really wasn't me. And so I have found another niche for me, and that is like doing 2 videos a month maybe, but they are really elaborate. And then people kind of love that as well, or maybe other people love that.
Yeah.
And it works for me like on YouTube and financially, because these videos, for some reason, it's not like they are 2 times as like successful money-wise, but they're like 10 times as successful. It's really kind of crazy.
Okay.
And the thing is, like making these like video series, like part 20 of something, people all of a sudden watch the other 19 parts. that never really happened before, but with
That's
the video
surprising.
at the moment, I always have this revitalization of older content, but it took me I think it took me 5 years to find something that just works, because until that point, it was often that I put 50 or 100 hours into the videos, but it was always hit or miss. It was always people loved it or nobody cared, and then I was like instantaneously kicked into burnout mode, and I couldn't really produce a good video for the next 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've got videos like long-term ones, like every month it pops up. What are your most popular videos this month have got the most views? And like it's always the op-amp one. Like that's got like 1.5 million views, my op-amp tutorial. And it just keeps getting views, top views every single month.
How old is
it? It's just nuts. Oh, 5, 6 years old at least. Yeah. And it just keeps delivering. Yet if I do my other tutorial videos, they'll get nothing. It's just, you know.
So for me, my top video is a simple guide to electronic components, and it's the one where I thought, imagine it was a really hard video to make because I had to basically reset my brain and imagine what would I want to know if I was just starting in electronics and wanting it really just. I used the washer analogy in it, you know, for current flow through pipes and things like that. And it is every month. It's like a bread and butter video. It has had 5.4 million views.
Oh, wow.
Yep, absolutely. And every month, I mean, if I look at my current analytics, this month, it's the top 3rd video with 112,944 views. And it just does it every single month. It's like you could literally, if you make a good video, you could almost make an income from that one great video. If it just keeps
the only
ticking
video
over.
that I made that's done in the multi-millions was like 10 years ago. So it's gone dead now.
Yeah, I've got maybe 3 or 4 videos over 1 million views, and that's about it. That's in like 1,400 videos or more.
And are they all old?
There's only a handful.
Are
They're all
old?
like soldering or tutorial videos. Yet I do tutorial videos and they get bugger all views now. But yeah, but these older ones.
Did you check what's going on Lewis Rossman's channel at the moment? He's been talking about this.
Yes.
I actually did the
Limited.
calculation. I actually calculated how much he's made due to this GameStop thing, and it's at least, I think it's at least $15,000 in income he's made, in AdSense income he's just made in the last 2 weeks from from those videos. I think he realizes it because he's just making them like crazy.
I think finance videos get a very high CPM as well, apparently.
Yeah, oh yeah, so it's probably I was calculating that on like $1.50 CPM, which is you know, like average, but yeah, he's probably getting more than that. He's probably gotten like 30 grand or more just from making these games.
He could stop repairing computers soon.
No, not Apple products, no.
But
because you can charge.
The crazy thing there is, like, with videos of mine that have been really successful, at least they've been engineering videos. You know, with Lewis, I think he's also kind of frustrated because he says it all the time. Nobody watches the repair videos, you know, and you can see that if you like just go through the backlog, you will see, okay, there he talked about some New York real estate, 500,000 views. Next day, repairing MacBook, 30,000 views. Then another piece of real estate, 200,000 views. And so this, Lewis is driving with his bicycle through New York City and looking at some protester, 200,000 views. So, I mean, how frustrating is that? You know, who wants to do repair videos after that? I mean, I would try, but it's hard, I guess.
I do one every month or something, you know, like,
But without his repair videos, he wouldn't have the same status for those other videos to get attention.
Correct. But now that he's got it, now that he's got the 1.5 million subscribers, and he's
the bastard
brilliant at but he's brilliant
I'm
at
not
making
even near a
these
million
commentary videos. So you know he's crazy if he doesn't separate the channel and like just have like a repair channel and then just a rant.
Oh, is that a good
business
idea?
Life advice channel. You know,
is that a good idea? Because it might actually get people who just go follow the virally type videos and actually get them interested in technology.
Well, the views are there, so I don't know.
I don't think it would, Clive, to be honest.
I have to say that since
technology, you can't force it.
Since watching Lewis's videos, I've got much more confident the surface mount, and it turns out the secret is to use at least 1 millipole of flux all over the whole thing.
You can never have too much flux.
Absolutely. I've decided that a pole of flux is exactly 1 liter, so 1 millipole is exactly 1 milliliter of flux.
Does anyone else have a problem with soldering on video? God, I hate it. Like, I think I'm a pretty decent solderer, yet I try and do it with my arms around a camera like this, and I just can't do it. I just look like an amateur, you know?
The problem I've got is all my lighting is from the back, so I'm looking at my videos and I completely miss the solder joint with the solder. It just completely passes behind it. And see, if I'm working at my bench, for real, I have to use those lights, but I have to wear an LED head torch to light the front of it so I can actually see where I'm soldering. It's all about the lighting.
Are you looking at the actual piece of work, or are you looking through your camera?
I'm looking at my piece of work because fortunately, just because of the way it turned out with my channel, I mounted my camera on a ledge on the shelf, and my whole bench is based on what they call twin slot shelving, where you just slot brackets into it. And if you can imagine, it's a 4x8 sheet of MDF. The bench is 2x8, and the rest of the shelves are 1x8. And it's got a piece of printed circuit board material, scrap printed circuit board material that I screwed up. You know those ones that you etch them and everything etches off instead of just the bits you wanted?
Yeah.
It's that, but shaped to each. It's got loads of random shapes in it because it's designed to shape the indents of all the different phones I've used to actually record. And basically, they just slot onto that. And it's just barely out of head touch, you know, there's forehead touching it. But also just the height that I stand at my bench, that you can just go up your tiptoes, you can look over the top. Oh, hits the camera. The microphone should say. But you can actually see what's on the screen. So everything of mine gets done from a camera just at basically nose height, I'd say. And it means it keeps it out of the way, because you know what it's like when you try putting a camera that you're looking through at the same time, and it ends up just getting in the way. It just absolutely obstructs your
I do
actual
most of my desktop videos looking through the camera, which is why sometimes I lose that 3D depth thing. And
I've
I'm
noticed
like in the
that you
wrong-
sometimes miss things completely.
I miss things
And you're-
completely. Yeah.
Or the fingers hovering about trying to find what you were trying to point at.
Live, what actual microphone are you plugging in? An external microphone into your tablet or what?
On the phone, right? Initially, before I
the
discovered...
phone. I thought it was a tablet you were using.
No, I started off with an iPad 2, and it was the internal microphone. But when I switched to Android, what you get with Android, if you bought 10 different Android phones, then all the microphones would sound different, and there'd be different volume levels in YouTube. And if you plug a microphone in, then you could use the same microphone. They'd all sound different in every single Android phone.
Really?
So I used to use a custom microphone that I tuned up with resistors inside just to match, to get the optimal gain for where I was with relative to that. But since discovering AudioFix, and there's only one app I've found that really does it properly, and it's buggy as hell. It just, like, sometimes the most frustrating thing is that sometimes I'll record a video in, say, 3 sections, and I'll splice them together, then I'll run them through AudioFix, and it crashes. It won't handle that. And then you have to AudioFix each section of the video and then splice them together to actually get it to go through. But AudioFix fixes all the problems. So at the moment, I'm just using the built-in microphone and the built-in camera. And to be honest, the best phone I've found for videos is the Moto G series, because they have the absolutely most amazing cameras in them. Everything is focused towards the camera in the phone. And although it's a budget phone, the camera is just fantastic in all of them. The focus is really sharp and has a good field of view, which is also quite important when you're close to the bench, when you're filming top down.
Do you upload from your phone, or do you go through your computer at all?
It doesn't touch the computer. Otherwise, you know, if I was doing that, I wouldn't be uploading 2 videos a day, which is maybe too much, actually.
Yeah, you've got to optimize your process. If you're doing a couple of even one video a day, I'd be optimizing my process more. Yeah.
I'd like to point out that I started recording videos, and I'd do them in clumps and then upload them in clumps, and people complained that I was uploading and they were getting too many notifications. And I don't even know when it happened that I ended up uploading a video every 2 days, because it wasn't my original intent. But it's just something that has happened, and I feel the expectation that I have to upload a video every 2 days now. And when I'm running, I keep a wee backlog of videos, but it's really small. So there's times I'm like, oh, I should make a video, but I don't want to make a video. You just get those moments.
So does anyone else here have a backlog of videos? Like, does anyone have a buffer system of videos?
No.
I make it.
I don't.
I edit it and I upload it the same day.
Yeah. Same here. I just have to blow my wad every day. You know, as soon as I've edited that video, I can't just keep it.
Up it goes.
I keep a 1 week distance, because wherever possible, because that gives the patrons something. They're actually getting something for supporting the channel.
Yeah.
But it also it gives them that leeway that if, you know, there are times when you're under the weather, or you're just not in the mood, that, you know, it just gives you that little buffer that, you know, you feel, if you're trying to fit a quota like I am, that I'm doing it every 2 days, which has just become a thing that, you know, I didn't intend it, then it just gives you that buffer that, you know, on your down moments, you know, you can catch up later on.
Yeah, I have to start doing that, because I feel guilty that I don't like I'll upload a video to early to Patreon, but it'll only be like 12 hours early. I'll upload it during the day here, then I'll release it the next morning or something.
Sometimes my Patreon videos go up 15 minutes before they go to YouTube.
Right. Okay,
I really don't care.
I don't feel as bad now. Thanks.
Okay.
Yep.
So let me double check then. So how many of the patrons have actually viewed the actual videos that I pre-upload? It's
not
like
many.
10%.
Yeah. Oh, mine's not even. I've got 1,300 patrons, I think 1,350, and I'll get 100 views on a video if I release it to Patreon. So only like 1/10 of those people are actually watching the video. So
one good thing is that by looking at the Patreon figures, I'm looking at them right now. And how many patrons do I have? Let me just double check that. Patreon is a buffer against YouTube, because it means that if YouTube just deleted your channel, and that is absolutely possible. We've all, I think, who's the two have been the longest in the YouTube here? Is it Dave?
I started in 2009.
And do you remember the growing pains when the militants discovered they could get together and they could basically have channels deleted just by flagging them up?
Oh yeah.
Before YouTube started filtering that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a buffer
that's
against...
still going on these days. Anyone can report.
It is.
See, I could get one of my videos reported for hate speech because I called a transistor a tranny. I mean, seriously, like, and if I get 3 strikes like that in a day, somebody could shut down my channel in a day if they really wanted to.
What's the most strikes you've had? I've had the maximum I've
only had
2.
1. No.
I've had 2 simultaneously. Yeah. I was right in the edge that the 3rd strike was basically channel deletion. It's like you basically stand there shitting your pants, quite frankly.
Yeah. That's why I'm on every other platform, just in case.
Yep. Library is a good backup. The day will come that I have to. And this is where I've got 3,260 Patreon supporters, which is good because when my YouTube channel inevitably gets deleted and you just assume it's going to happen. Oh, this meeting no longer has a time limit. That's lovely. Thank you.
Oh, yes. I just got the notification too.
Thanks, Dave, for paying for the stream. So like that's that number. I've just not forgotten what I was talking about. Just like in my videos, really.
Library.
Library.
Yes. Yep.
Library is that backup for the day that YouTube randomly deletes my channel, because it can happen. There's no security in YouTube. And it means that I can keep going to library people. I can say to my library supporters, I can say, here's the latest video, but here's the link and it's to library this time. So you're going to have to view it in library. So it's a huge support. But of all those 3,000 people on Patreon, the maximum number of views I've had in a recent video inside a Nokero solar light, which is not released yet, is 905.
Okay, that's a better ratio than mine. Yeah.
That's a huge amount. I got 300 patrons, I think, and normally I only get like 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
Who will watch the video prior to it going on YouTube.
Now, the thing is, if I was to do what some other YouTubers do, in the sort of like, the sort of people having a bad day at work type videos, where it just shows people have accidents at work and they absolutely plaster adverts all the way through it. And you think, if I did that, I could earn a lot more money. But ultimately, I absolutely hate mid-video adverts, particularly a technical video. It just completely breaks the stride of the video. So I'm happy to actually say, I'll sacrifice the extra money because I'd rather have a good quality video that you can watch comfortably all the way through without interruptions.
Rossman's done though. Lewis Rossman has deliberately come out and said, I am keeping mid-roll ads on all my videos. So if you're pissed off enough at the mid-roll ads, go to my library channel because there's no ads over there. So that's a way he's driving.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
that's an interesting
he's deliberately said he's leaving it on there. Otherwise, there's no incentive for people to go. So he's turning on all the mid-roll ads. So
what I have started doing is actually to insert little screen goes to black breaks in my videos. I saw that first on Red Letter Media. I don't know if you ever watched any Red Letter Media videos. It's a great channel, and they started editing their videos so that they had like little ad breaks like you had in TV like 20 years ago. I don't know, like one scene would end, the screen goes to black, and then the good thing is I always find like little natural breaks in my videos, and that is where I will then insert the mid-roll ads. And people have thanked me for that. They've said that they found that very considerate of me, and I think that's a good way of doing that, because doing no mid-roll ads at all, if you don't have as many patrons as Clive might have, or maybe some other people, then that really will make the video, well, I haven't actually tried it, but I think that you will actually miss out on a lot of revenue that you just might need for the.
I know that I'm missing out on revenue in that, but I don't care, to be honest. Maybe I'll regret it later on when I'm old and senile, but you know what? I'll worry about that when I get there. I quite like the continuous stream videos.
Yeah, I've disabled mid-roll ads on my channels. But I've heard people say that they still see mid-roll ads, even though I've deliberately set.
I've had that as well.
Yeah.
When YouTube has a glut of adverts, it'll do it. But also, I block certain adverts. I block get-rich-quick adverts. I block the dating adverts, and I block legal adverts from lawyers and solicitors and things like that. But people still get these adverts from time to time. And I don't know if the advertisers are deliberately misrepresenting their advert by not ticking the correct boxes, or if it's just because when YouTube has a glut of adverts, it says, well, you're getting it whether you want it or not, because, ultimately we need to make money out of this. And people don't realize, they say, I use ad block. They don't realize how much it probably costs to actually host. How many minutes of video is it per hour? Hold on, let me just check that statistic. How much?
If there's a mid-roll ad and someone uses ad block, does it close the gap, or does it just run some black for a while?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Because surely the stream contains that video anyway.
Yes, that's right. They would have to manually skip it or something, surely.
Yeah.
Don't they do? Doesn't the stream come from a different server? So they probably serve different content in different areas. Whereas AdBlock does seem to do. I was wondering that. Sorry, what was I going to say?
Can I see you're sounding quite muffled?
Your microphone. There's something wrong.
Just the one in the webcam. Is that better?
Oh, they're better. Yep.
Yeah. I was leaning back and relaxing.
Okay, getting comfortable.
I've never noticed. I mean, I think one laptop I've got's got AdBlock and one hasn't. I've not noticed anything weird like gaps or anything. But
how would the browser know that the stream of video was not content and had switched to an ad? Does it know?
Yeah, I don't know.
How does AdBlock know?
I don't know, because I've got YouTube Premium, so I just don't see ads. So,
See, I don't go with YouTube Premium because I want to see the ads to see what other people are actually seeing.
Right.
So I know how to adjust the channel accordingly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The statistics are out of date. It says hours of video upload to YouTube every minute between 2007 to 2019. That's going to be way out of date, isn't it?
Yep.
Is roughly 500 hours of video per minute. And you think, somewhere there's a lot of hard disks and they're spread all over the world, but that is a lot of infrastructure. That is a lot of disks, a lot of power, a lot of maintenance. And people don't seem to realize, they just seem to assume that they're going to get it for nothing. But when they use ad block, they're basically shoplifting because they're getting all the entertainment, but they're not helping to pay by viewing those few adverts. They're not helping to pay for the massive amount of infrastructure involved in delivering that to their computer on demand. That's probably a controversial thing to say that, but that's okay. I'm a controversial person.
Poor Google, they'll starve.
Well, the thing is, you do wonder, because I know that the Google said YouTube actually makes a loss, and you're thinking, yeah, right. But you know what?
They can claim that on tax, so it's not a problem.
Probably.
It's all part of Alphabet,
What tax? They don't pay any.
Yeah. That's why, because they make a loss.
Here's the question. What if it turned out that they were really not quite making as much as they needed to keep the infrastructure up, or some official red tape came in that charged media tax and YouTube did suddenly shut down? What would happen?
I'd have to work at Tesco.
Media tax here in Australia now. The Australian government have passed new legislation for news.
Rupert Murdoch.
Yes, exactly. And they want to charge Google for indexing and supplying links to news articles.
Well, it's very simple. Given that most of the news is completely misleading anyway, just fucking ditch them. I just said the F word, didn't I?
That's my viewpoint. Just don't, but Google are they're not quite caving in, but they're going with all these weird strategies to try and, get around it. And it's no, just delete all the news links. And trust me, they'll come begging back, 2 weeks later when their views drop to zero because they're not on Google.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the same in Australia, but I don't. Rupert Murdoch's paper over here, the main paper, is The Sun.
No,
and you know what? They used to have a page 3. Do you know what that is?
Yes, the page 3 girl. Yeah.
The page 3 girl who was 16. That was basically school children, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
No,
they
put her
were
18.
really.
In one instance, it's a 15-year-old girl. They did a porn shoot of a 15-year-old girl, but then held it and released it when she was 16-year-old, and then baited the audience saying she's underage now, but on her birthday on Thursday, you're going to be able to see her tits. And it's like, for fuck's sake!
Oh my god!
And remember to vote for the Conservative Party. And it's like, okay.
High quality publication there. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Classy stuff.
So, Mike, how many videos are you making these days? Because I don't see your videos come up much.
Yeah, no, I've not done any for a while. I've got a few sort of things in the mental pipeline that I either haven't got round to, or haven't had time to do, or haven't had the motivation to do. So yeah, no, I've not been very prolific recently.
I mean, I presume that's because you're running a business and that takes all your time.
Not really. It's 'cause a lot of the time it's a bit hard to be motivated sometimes when nothing's happening in the world. It's a mixture of that and can't be. I need to get in like the right sort of frame of mind. I'll suddenly get an idea into a day and do the whole thing straight away. Like that morning, I didn't do any. I've got a box of random crap from AliExpress and a few other bits and pieces to take apart and a design video to do. But I need to be in the right frame of mind.
You can't be very dependent on the YouTube income.
I'm not. I mean, I only monetized relatively recently, and that was just a case of okay, all that did was increase the threshold at which I would buy, the amount of money I'd pay for something weird off of eBay. With that and Patreon, I'd happily spend 300 or 400 quid on something random teardown thing, whereas before the threshold was a lot lower than that.
Your medical stuff is excellent. I mean, I do regard you as the king of teardowns because just your stuff is amazing. Yeah. The stuff you buy, particularly that blood analysis unit.
Yeah, that was good.
Which was fantastic, where everything was like the blood was in the middle and then everything was focused in the blood. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's getting harder to find stuff that I consider interesting enough, though. Obviously, I'm not interested in something that's just a box of electronics. It's got to be electronics and something else, whether it's fluidics or pneumatics or some optics or something. It's getting, okay, there's a lot of less stuff going through this year anyway, but my local, my favourite eBay sellers have been pretty thin on the ground recently.
Yeah, I'm jealous of what others get overseas, and I'm jealous of Sharia from the Signal Path, right? all the stuff he gets and all those repair videos, and he always gets interesting repairs. How the hell does he do it? A, I can't even get those sort of instruments here in Australia, and B, if I do a repair video, it turns out to be either so incredibly simple, like it's a blown fuse or a dead button or something, or it's beyond economical repair. I can't seem to get that sweet spot of
You've just summed up the entire electronic repair industry. Blown fuse or beyond economical repair.
I mean, I'm sure you get this sort of friends and relatives giving you stuff to repair.
Oh yeah.
Literally. 50% of that starts working as soon as I look at it.
I know.
And I've had that. I've even had that work over the phone. They ring me, say, "Oh, mate, this might not work." Oh, start working again.
Did you tell them to hit it?
No. I think it's some sort of telekinetic repair superpower or something going on.
I've lost count of the number of things I've bought on eBay, like sold as not working, needs repair. And I go, oh, this could make an interesting repair video. I get it, and it works. It's like, God, no.
Complain, not as described. Get your money back.
I want my money back. It worked.
I find that rather interesting question because I was thinking the same thing. I was wondering, okay, when was the last time that I watched Mike's Electric Stuff teardown video? It's been a while, but I remember that I watched your videos maybe a lot, I think about 10 years ago or something.
Yeah, it's been that long.
Maybe it's not 10 years ago, I know.
Could have been.
But a couple of years ago, and I remember even back then, a lot of the stuff that you tore down was very special, like medical equipment or things you've never seen. It always had this strange physics box in it or something.
The thing I love most is things which were ridiculously expensive originally and now are worthless because they've been totally obsolete. And I've actually got something here. This is a Kodak 1000 frame per second camera.
I think I tried to get one of those. I tried to get one on eBay. Yep.
This one's actually ruggedized. It's like all the PCBs are clamped in. It's designed for use in things like crash testing. 150 quid on eBay, works straight out of the box. All I had to do was basically all the connections are on this sort of city military style connector, which is like I did find it, but it's about 100 quid. So I've just did a sort of PCB and D connector contact and some glue. And fortunately, I found someone that actually had the pin out of it. I could probably have figured it out, but that was very helpful. But that just worked.
See, that's quite a fun puzzle, figuring pinouts just by tracing the circuitry to like the voltage regulators and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done that, but it just so happened that someone just sent me the pin out, so
which saves a lot of time. And those awkward moments when you get it wrong and it just instantly releases the smoke.
No,
I want to do bigger teardown videos. Like, I'd love to do like big stuff, but I don't have like anywhere to do it really. I have my storage bunker, and one of the things I regret is getting one of those ultrasound machines, right? I actually, a huge big ultrasound machine. I thought, oh, this will make a great teardown. So I hired a ute, which is that's an Australian term. It's a truck, like a flatbed truck. So I hired a flatbed truck, and we went out to, it was in Sydney, so we went out to pick it up, and we had to disassemble it mostly to get it on the truck. It was that heavy. But the bare frame is like 70 kilos or something. And we managed to get it back here. And then it sat in my storage bunker for like a couple of years before I did anything with it. And now I've finally done the video tearing down all the boards. And it was kind of interesting. But now I'm stuck with this huge frame that I can't ditch. I can't get rid of. And it weighs like... And I can't give it away because I've thrown all the boards out. And it's like... I don't think I can even give it away. It's just an empty frame that weighs, 70, 80 kilos on caster
My house
wheels.
is full of Chinese landfill.
Yeah, but you're lucky because you don't have anyone who moans about it, do you?
Yeah, that's because I'm single. Yes, well, some people make mistakes, some people marry. I'm just
I came very, very close to buying a salvage Hyundai Kona electric car.
Yeah, I was wondering what was happening with that. Yeah,
it's it went. It was the last one went for just under £6,000, which I would have happily paid. The problem is because it was the rules with salvage and so on. You need to be a licensed operator and so on. And what I needed to do was to find a scrapyard that had the license and had the account at the scrap dealer and would be happy to take it and deliver it to me. And it didn't quite work out, but if another one comes up, I might well go for it.
What was that? The battery for one?
The whole car.
See,
but you've got one already.
I could, a 64 kilowatt hour battery. I could easily have got $6,000 just for the battery.
You could have split it into bits and sold it right down to individual cells and actually made money.
Yeah.
Because even like I say a 3,000 milliamp hour 18650 or whatever they use in electric cars, they're bigger now, aren't they? But even those individual batteries, even if they dropped to 2,000 milliamp hour, it's premium quality batteries, and that's quite a good capacity still. So those batteries are still worth the money, so to speak.
That car only had about 5,000 miles on it as well.
Right, okay.
Ran and drove, but it had been front-ended and back-ended.
So one careful driver then.
Yeah. Well, someone on the Hyundai forums has actually just posted some pictures of where he had an argument with the lorry. So I'm wondering if that might come up for salvage in a month or two's time. I'll keep an eye out for that one.
I find this a rather interesting question. Are you still able to find interest in something that is rather mundane? I mean, for example, Clive, for example, you're looking inside devices that are not always, extravagant in any way. It can be something very simple, but you still seem to be able to really take
it apart. Make it interesting. Let me go and get something right now that is just ridiculously interesting.
While he does, I'm going to ask you to identify this.
Looks like a battery of some sort.
It is a battery.
Possibly an EV battery.
Yeah, it's a nickel metal hydride.
Oh, Prius.
Prius, that's it.
Yeah.
This is out of a skip, right? But a local heating engineer moved house and they emptied his garage out into a skip. And obviously one can't resist a dumpster dive. So one of the things was the complete oil burner assembly and this little thing off the front, right? And I thought this thing extended right. I've got an oil burner here because here in the Isle of Man, oil is the cheapest way to heat your house. So they've got oil burnered furnaces. So I thought this thing, which is normally about this deep, was all stuffed with motors and cams and timers and relays and electronics. And so I got the burner out of skip and I took the front off, and it was like that moment that it just goes pop and you think, oh, because it's like this really tiny thing. And there is electronics in it, but the electronics been added later on because it was always certainly just basically a large LDR for detecting the infrared off the flame. And it's a bimetallic strip pushing contacts across. And then there's a coil at the end. And this video, I'm going to release it soon because it is like so complex. It can detect when the flame detector is short-circuited. It can detect when it's open-circuited, and it does it all by this coil, whether it energizes at the right time in the correct sequence that the bimetallic strip is heating at this end, and the contact block is moving across. And it's like, it took me so long. If it had been electronic, it would have been easy. But I was like, so how does it do that then? And then I'd have to hook the mains up to it, and then I'd have to emulate the fault and then look at it and go, oh, so this thing is just nuts. And it probably won't get a big audience, but it's one of these things that the people who do appreciate it will be like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Did you power it up?
Really clever. And the fact you can still buy them, and the fact it's still a Honeywell unit that still uses the bimetallic strip, pushing the little plastic strip across, kind of tells you, and the fact that it is now surface mount, but the only reason it's surface mount is because now they've got the voltage level detecting to detect when there's an under voltage and over voltage situation. And you realize, wow, that is something special. So this is one of these things that you think it's not very interesting, but then you actually analyze it and think, that is actually very interesting.
Did you put any power
coming
on
up
it?
soon.
Did you power it up at all?
Yes, I did. I didn't just power it up. You know how I produce quite good high-resolution pictures at close detail? I had to set it up specially just to show this in full action, so you can see it operating in every condition: normal mode, open circuit flame detector, and closed circuit flame detector, with a commentary of what's actually happening as you see all the bits clicking and the magnet clicking or not clicking. It's just really clever.
Nice. Yeah, I really love those high-res printouts that you do for the teardown. I almost want to steal that idea, you know, but then I go, nah, everyone will just bitch and comment, oh, you just stole that from Big Clive, you know.
You're welcome to do so. You're welcome to do so. But you know what? Do you want to see what I used to make those pictures?
Yes. Absolutely.
This is where, if you do actually broadcast this, it will be like a part of my secret is gone. But
I'll have to edit this
but
bit out.
you can always hide that bit. Hold on.
I'll edit this out. Mental note, the secret will be revealed.
That produces the pictures, but for printing, it's a standard. It's an Epson EcoTank, which is the printer you can fill up with big bottles of ink, which means that using Poundland glossy picture photo paper, I can get lots of good quality, super high ink density pictures for buttons. It's just, it took a lot of experimentation to get that, because lighting was always so hard. But it all comes, it's either, I ask people, when people say, can you help me fix something? I say, can you send me a picture of the circuit board? They always send an out of focus picture with lighting from one side, and it's like, what's this component? You see a fuzzy blob with like sooty skid marks around it, and you can't tell. So I'm quite fussy about the quality of the pictures, and that's the best way I've found to get them so far.
I'm going to make one of those, because like I've got like a big I've got a light tent. Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep. I mean, yeah, because I want, as I said, like having dedicated setups, I want to actually dedicate a camera just to photographs. I want to dedicate a section of my lab just is a photography bench with something like this to evenly illuminate it, and it's all just set up. I go up, I put the board down, press the button, boom, it'll automatically upload to my server and do whatever I want it to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, people say, oh, you should use this, and you should only use the best Canon, DSLR and things like that. And I say,
Oh,
like, it's just like chuck it. When I finish with it, I'm just like, right, that's done. Right, let's go and print the pictures.
You're not into computers much, are you, Clive? You don't really want to use computers at all.
It's just, you know, if I had to edit stuff, I mean, that gets done. The pictures get cropped and trimmed in View. And adjusted if needs be. If I'm taking a picture of circuit boards, you know those horrible white circuit boards where they've used that white solder resist and you just can't see the tracks. You have to tilt it at an angle. And it does that optical illusion thing that what you think is a track is actually a gap between it and stuff like that. They are so annoying. So sometimes I use View just to nudge all the values to try and get a contrast in the edges just to actually get that image. But that's the only time I tend to use PC. Everything else is done on the Chromebook and the phone. Let's keep things simple.
Yeah, the other thing is that I've often got, like, you know, in the mailbag, I'll get the cheap Chinese, you know, crap, you know, like you can get for $2 delivered and stuff like that. And I've got some footage somewhere where I've lost it now, I think, where I was going to do like a dedicated video doing, you know, teardowns of cheap Chinese products. But then I know, everyone will just complain that, I'm just, you know, Big Clive does that. You know,
no,
just
don't, because
Clive,
you know what?
You know?
I find it really interesting. See, when I make a video about something and then someone else makes a video about the same thing, I'll watch their video to see if they took a different slant in it. And you did, because do you remember when I tore down the OBD plugs, the onboard diagnostic, the fake ones? Yep. And you spotted, and I didn't spot this, that the pins weren't even connected. It was actually just screen printed. It was like the screen print underneath the pins, and it was like I didn't even spot that. So that was good. And then I revisited that video and then referenced you in it when I did that. I
think I remember that.
So it's useful.
Yep. And then I had a lot of. I think you did the death trap heater thing, didn't you? With the two-pronged heater that you stick in the.
Absolutely. I bought so many of those because they're a treasured item, and they're not even. I think I may have an effect because so many people complained about them that they're now not available on eBay. It's very hard to find them. I've not been able to find one for ages. I'm so glad I've got a collection of these deadly heaters.
I did a video on that now. You know, there were a lot of comments. Oh, Big Clive did this. You know?
Just ignore them. Just ignore them because I don't give a shit. You know, it's always interesting to see someone else's slant because, you know, we could all make a video about the same thing. And it would be every person's video would be done in their style.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree. Even though we've got a big overlap in audiences, you know.
We do. We've got a huge. And you know what? We've got a really odd audience. Have you noticed the number of mechanics that watch electronic channels? Because that's their recreation. And I found I occasionally watch South Main Auto and other mechanic channels because that's quite recreational, because it's a completely different field. And it's interesting to look at that. But then you find out that they all watch my channel. So when I pop up on one of the live streams and leave a comment, it's like, oh, it's Big Clive. And it's like, oh. And it's just like, if you've got a particular technical trade, your relaxation is watching other trades because you learn from them, which is good.
I get that comment all the time. Like if I show up on a Rossman video or something, if I comment on there or something, everyone will go, can't believe you're here, Dave. Wow. It's like, what are you doing here? It's like, or I pop up on some other finance channel or something like that. You know, I'll comment because I watch, you know, or a science channel, you know, it'll be, you know, one of the science YouTubers or something. I'll comment on there and people just can't believe that I watch it. It's like, of course they do.
Is that becoming an issue?
This thing in analytics saying your viewers also enjoyed this?
Yes, I see that all the time. Yeah, but
I discovered that maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. I don't know how old this feature even is.
It only pops up occasionally though. It's not. I can't seem to get it to happen all the time. It just sort of randomly.
I really discovered some channels through that I enjoy now. For example, I mean, I've started to do like a mixture of more mechanical and electronic stuff even years back. So my audience is a little more on that side as well. So I have lots of people who watch AVE and stuff like that. But I discovered this channel, Diesel Creek, which is a guy who just repairs excavators and stuff like that. And
I'd watch that.
we've kind of, I don't know, we're texting back and forth. We're kind of internet buddies now, and it's really, I always show up in the comment section, and my comments always get hundreds of upvotes because those people know me for some reason, and I don't know, people find like a special kind of joy in that when they find you in the comment section, even when they didn't expect that. So
Yeah, they do.
one of the nicest things on YouTube.
Yeah.
You were going to ask something, Martin?
Yeah, I was going to say, so because of the size of your audience and how long you've been about, when you're out in public, how often are you recognized? Is it an issue for you?
It's not an issue, but I do get recognized if I go, at my local shopping center here, walking distance away, I'll get recognized occasionally. And if I go out, if I'm with family and friends, they'll always be surprised that, someone will come up and recognize me. The weirdest one was just 2 months ago, I was out canyoning, so I was in the middle of nowhere. Right, in the middle of nowhere at this canyon, there's a tiny little dirt car park, right? So we hop out of the car and we're offloading. There's one other car there, and we're offloading gear, and somebody says, "That sounds like Dave Jones," and they recognize my voice before they even saw me. It's like the only other car in this car park was a bloody viewer, It's like it happens, but it's never a problem. People are always really nice. I've never had somebody be a dick. And when I hold the organize the live events, and the people who turn up to that, everyone's the nicest. They'll never.
Technical people are not dicks.
No,
As
they
when
are.
it comes
That's
to
right.
crunch, they're just super humble normally. Because
it's great.
here in the Isle of Man, occasionally you'll get, when I visit Glasgow, it happens a lot. People come up to you, but they're really shy and they're really awkward, and they're like looking around, and then they're like, I really like your channel and so on. Then they'll scuttle away again. You don't really get that many people who just want to exert themselves on you. But I didn't have a thing recently, Monday there. I was at the pub, and a chap who is YouTube Mike CC came up, and he brought me a shot of Jägermeister. And I don't know if you come across the Jägermunion thing. Have you come across Jägermunion? In your live streams, apparently, people have been asking if you're doing Jägermunion. I designed a 3D printed insert, which takes communion glasses for the standard component, and I fill them with Jägermeister, so that on the hour, every hour, we drink a toast to some scientific celebrity, like, say, for instance, Marie Curie or Pierre Curie, or it's just whoever's in the science news at the time. So that's why you might find that. That's why the guy came over with a Jägermeister for me. It was Jägermunion, and then he bought Jägermeister for all his people that were with him in the pub, and they all had a Jägermunion.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, I've noticed that when they're if I'm in a shopping aisle or something like that, you can tell when people have actually recognized you, because they'll be peeking around the corner of the aisle, and they're going, "Is that Dave Jones?"
Or you see them. They look at you and you see their eyes open wide briefly, and they get all flustered, and then they're looking away. They're too shy. They want to come over and say hello, and it's like, oh.
Yeah,
I had a blue screen. It just blue screened on me.
You were never away. It's all right. It's your Celeron or whatever it is. Yeah.
With 4 gig of RAM.
It's struggling.
I've seen a blue screen on this machine before.
I've never been recognised in public.
Really?
But tech events like electronic shows, I get recognised by voice a lot. I'm talking to someone at a stand, and then someone will come up behind me and recognise me, because I don't appear on screen very often. I definitely get
the way you
recognised by voice
speak
more
is
often.
very distinctive.
Yeah, it's very distinctive. Yeah.
It's very geeky. Yeah.
Fast. The biggest complaint I've got is that I speak too fast.
So just to test ages here, what was the size of your first hard disk?
20 megabytes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's before me.
Yeah.
I'm young then. 40 megabyte for me.
I think.
No.
ST506 interface.
Do you still have
a
it?
one?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I have my first one.
I've still got my first hard disk. Yeah, it was 40 megabyte, and it was like top of the range.
Question is, what did you pay for it at the time?
Now they give it away free as branded memory sticks.
My first floppy was a 5.5 inch full height, 5.25 inch full height.
Oh,
I
absolutely. Oh
bought
no,
as 14 had to repair first.
I can beat you. Was it what was the biggest one? Was it 8-inch?
Yeah,
8-inch.
yeah,
Yep.
they were fun.
Yeah, and they were super floppy. That's what I learned Program Basic on, was a Krememco Z2D.
I used to play. There was when I was at school, one of the first computer shops opened just up the road, and we used to pile in there after school. And they had the Krememco Z2Ds with Star Trek, and it was quite funny. They were trying to like do the sales pitch to like a real customer, and us kids would be standing there tapping our fingers on the, waiting to get onto the computer.
Tandy used to use me and the other people that went into the shop as basically salespeople, because like when you go in there, like, and the TRS-80, and you'd be programming on it, and then these adults would come in and they'd see the kids on the computer and they'd say, oh, computer's the latest thing, and they'd go up to the salesman, and then they'd come over to us and say, which computer should we get? And we'd obviously say, like, oh, fuck, you want the best one. And then they'd go and sell, because they wanted their kids to be successful in the computer year. They'd buy a top-the-range TRS-80. And then the salesman would be like, you just keep playing. That's absolutely fine.
I used to have that all the time. I was a kid. I used to hang out at the local Dick Smith and Tandy stores, and of course, like, I would know more than the employees would. So anytime somebody came in with a technical question, I'd just ask that kid hanging around, or you'd sort of butt in. Oh yeah, I know. Like,
or you'd be all really enthusiastic, and then next thing you know, they'd sold a computer just because you were so enthusiastic. Yeah,
that's it.
Unpaid salesman.
But how is it these days with electronics, like parts stores or something like that? Because when I grew up in the 90s, we still had 2 electronics shops where you could actually buy transistors and stuff like that, and we only had like 130,000 people in that town. So now I'm living in a city with 1 million people, and I don't know if there is even one shop around.
Internet's killed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Glasgow used to have RME, Radio Mechanical Electrical, which sold all the surplus equipment, and basically you went in and it was just shelves full of technical junk, and it was like the online, the magazine stores that used to sell you bags of random components, and you bought it by the bag, and you didn't know what you were getting, and it was treasure when it arrived. Electronic gold mine, basically. But they had a shop like that had a big central counter and lots of people in the middle of the counter, and it was all just junk, basically, but it was treasure at that time. And then there was Regent Street Electronics, Marshalls, which was another electronic shop, and Maplin appeared later on, but now there's nothing. It's all eBay, and eBay
I get my electronics from Lidl and Aldi now.
All right. Yeah, but
really? Okay.
We've still got 2 here.
German expansion to the United Kingdom, right?
Oh, ElectroBoom.
Hey!
It's the monobrow.
I'm late.
It is time to blow stuff up.
Better late than never.
I thought it was another day. For some reason, sorry.
We've only been going for like 2 hours.
Yeah, here's the king of the channels, the person with the highest audience base and the highest number of subscribers. Yeah, I know.
Probably you all know more than me.
And all we need to do was poke wires in sockets. I loved, see when you did the one when you did the one in the British socket. You wrapped the wire around the pins and left a huge skid mark around it. That was fantastic. I've never tried that.
Yeah, hopefully I cleaned it well. And they didn't notice it was me.
All right, did you clean it?
I tried, but it didn't clean well.
It doesn't. That's what happens with cheap USB power supplies as well.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We were talking about your channel, I think. We were talking smack.
And the recipe for success, which you managed to combine technology and clowning around. It's got a bigger audience because it actually accommodates different audiences.
Yeah, that's my goal, right? I'm living off YouTube, so I try to make my views as high as possible.
Yeah.
Do you find that you sort of like pigeonholed into the shock thing? Like if you do like a tutorial video or something, is it hard to make it interesting to the majority of the audience?
Like on the side of my regular shocking videos, I do this ElectroBoom 101. I've made 6-7 episodes, and it's hard to make that you know, when you are just doing straight serious education, it's hard to make it, you know, fun.
Yeah.
Those videos usually have much less views than the regular shocking ones.
Education is less popular than just
I
blowing
know.
stuff up. People keep asking me to blow stuff up. If they knew how much loose cardboard and stuff is in my vicinity, they'll know why I don't blow stuff up, because the whole place would just go up in smoke.
No woofles tonight then.
Oh, I could do a woofle for you right now. I mean, I can go and get the woofler if you want, because this is a flame-resistant area. Hold on, I'll go and get the woofler kit.
I definitely can't do this, because if I set off the smoke alarm here, it's $1,800. The fire brigade are automatically called, because I'm not at home. I'm actually in a commercial office building, and it's all monitored, and they get alerted, and it's you get charged $1,800 if your smoke alarm goes off.
That's why I pull mine off, so it doesn't set anything up.
Gaffer tape over the smoke alarm.
Yep. I use a glove. I get a big rubber glove and stick it over.
Rubber gloves.
Where are you based, Mehdi? Where are you living?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
Canada?
Yep.
On the Pacific side.
Can I just say that, do you remember in the early days when your camera wasn't that sensitive and you had to shout at it to actually get a high enough volume level? And then you got a more sensitive microphone. You got this Sennheiser microphone. And up to that point, you were always shouting at the microphone, and it sounded really ElectroBoom, just psycho. It actually went down from that point, because suddenly you didn't have to shout, and up to that point you were the rabid guy blowing stuff up, and it actually impacted it negatively that you weren't shouting anymore, because you didn't have to shout.
People were a little confused. Why are you not shouting anymore? Exactly. Since my audio quality is better, you know, the lapel helps, you don't have to shout anymore.
So this is the woofler, right? It's a feature of the live streams, and it works very well with dollar store butane refill. This is what the others were talking about. It's a 3D printed object. You can download the file from the comments, the description of my live streams. But basically speaking, you get special woofle juice, which is washing up liquid and water, and you put some into it. And then you simply woofle until the combustible foam comes out, and then you light it. Oh. And it's
No.
That's dangerous.
This is going to end badly.
Strangely enough, it's quite popular on the channel. Every weekend, everybody wants me to woofle things.
I've got a bit of competition for you, Clive. I found these hand spray bottles full of IPA are really good for cleaning stencils.
IPA is superb. Yeah, absolutely. It's great.
On your main live streams, it's very difficult to get a comment answered these days.
It's just too busy. I do the Patreon live streams, the ones I invited you guys to, which are quiet, which only have about 150 to 200 people. But at the weekend, on the Saturday live streams, it's up to 2,000 people, and the chat is so fast that you just literally have to snatch a comment out it and then try and respond. And then people complain because you're not responding to their comment. It's like, look at the comments. It's like it's a blur.
You have your super chats on?
No, because I don't approve of super chat, which sounds terrible. Google take 30% for a start, which is quite severe. But also, I think I just feel guilty doing super chat. I've done it with the Manx Beard Club. I did the New Year's Eve live stream, which was about 3 hours again, but it earned about £400 after all the deductions, which was quite a lot. But I feel so guilty. It feels like someone's commanding attention, and people say you should enable super chat, and I just feel guilty about it, so I don't. Maybe I should enable super chat.
I've found that everyone asks for it. Everyone goes, "Why don't you turn on super chat? Please turn it on." Like, they're
I just feel so awkward.
I know.
I'm not
at
money
least
motivated.
the people that really want to ask a specific question, they pay and they get their answer that way, right?
Yeah, I just feel awkward about that.
Dumb.
They are.
The questions are stupid.
They are. Yes, indeed. How do I fix my washing machine? Oh.
They're mostly fun and games, right? It's not really so much technical talk, is it? It's more like hanging out with guys, or
It is, but you know what? I encourage people to bring a drink with them. That's the other reason I don't enable super chat, is because you know what it's like on like eBay when you're drunk and you just buy stuff and you're like, I really shouldn't. Oh, I've bought it. So the main thing is, because I've had people in the past make donations when someone worked out that my PayPal was actually going boodling, and it was like doing that. People started sending donations just so they'd hear it, and then I'd read their name out. And someone sent £100, and it was like, it's too much. You know, if I did enable super chat, I'd say $5 maximum. That's it. I'd cap it. I'd say I don't want the money.
Can you cap it? Is there
just
a capping mechanism?
No, but you can tell them. But otherwise, people are people get over a bit fanboyish and they send you huge donations. And in one instance, I refunded him because it was just too much a donation. It was just us saying, I really appreciate it, but I just want to make sure you weren't drunk when you made this.
Yeah, but do you watch some of the other live streams of the big tubers who pretty much ignore the super chats?
Yes, they do. And it's like they just accept money pouring in. That is rude. That's the other thing. Occasionally I'll get distracted and I'll go off in a wee technical rant about something and I'm not paying attention to chat. At least it keeps it in a window depending on how much they sent, that you could then go back to it. But other time I'd be worried if someone sent 20 quid and then I just completely ignored them. That would be so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like, I mean, I sometimes go pay other people's super chats because I like the attention I get from the other YouTuber.
You even need to do a super chat to get attention? I thought ElectroBoom would get attention instantly.
No, not really. the chat goes up so quickly.
You have become kind of iconic on YouTube just because of your format of that sort of like bizarre blowing yourself up type scenario.
Oh, well, thanks. I don't know. Whatever you say, I don't know.
So who else is full-time YouTube here? Myself?
I am
ElectroBoom, obviously. Giraffe is?
I mean, do we want to talk money here? This is where it can't really be played out in public, though, because I'd be embarrassed.
I've done public videos of how much I earn on YouTube.
Here's the snag. See, in America, they go, I earned like $1,000 today, and everybody's like, whoa, yeah, go you, you're a hero. See, if you say, I'm in Britain and I earned £1,000 today, it's like, you fucking cunt. It's like, you bastard. Fuck you. It's the complete different attitude. You know, here in Britain, if you're a top earner, it's like, fuck you. That's their attitude. It's like, you bastard. It's completely, it doesn't work like in America where it's like, woo, yeah.
We actually have a saying for that here. It's the tall poppy syndrome. If you get too big and popular, you get cut down here in Australia, well, especially if you're a dick. You know, if you're a real, if you're a really nice person, you're super successful, you may not get hit with the tall poppy syndrome. But yeah, that's a definite thing here. So you'll get cut down.
Yeah, we're very coy about that sort of thing here, aren't we?
Yeah, because I saw you talking about that, Dave, and I was thinking I would never discuss money. I find it embarrassing. I earn a decent income, and I'd be too embarrassed to talk about it. I'd feel like you people would like start targeting me because of that, because it's just the nature, it's the culture here in Britain is to actually resent success is this strange thing they've got over here.
Yeah, I did it because I wanted to, like, it was actually novel at the time. Once I found out, and I actually asked YouTube, I had a contact at YouTube at the time, and I actually asked them, is it okay if I tell my audience what I earn? And they went, well, there's no rule against it if you want to. Do it. So I made a video, you know, because it might help out other YouTubers. And that's been very successful, that video. You know, it teaches people about CPM and how much, you know, a full-time YouTuber actually earns. And my income hasn't changed since then. That was like 4 or 5 years ago I did that video. I'm still earning like 40 grand US a year or something.
As time goes on, your channel gets bigger, but the income comes down. So it just basically hovers. Yeah, absolutely, all the way through.
It's just flat. So, but I obviously earn a lot more than that because I've got my packing and shipping business. I've got advertising on my website and my forum. So, YouTube is only a relatively. I could lose all my YouTube income and I'd still be a full-time YouTuber. So, which is good. Which is a pretty, that's a position most YouTubers aren't in. So
yeah.
Do you have an advertising deal? Do you have an advertising deal of any kind with anyone or?
Sorry, me.
Yeah.
I do sponsorships too.
I just accept ads on my forum and my website. So I turn down every sponsorship. Like every week, I'm getting a sponsorship, email request, and for the last 12 years, I've turned down every sponsorship request. So I don't do in-video sponsorships. But if you want to put ads on my website or my forum, I've got a package. I'd send them a sheet with all my rates on it and stuff like that.
But also, I've been bombarded with offers like that for years.
Oh yeah, so many.
I get these offers every day, and I know other YouTubers who use these deals and they really make good money on it. But I think that I always wanted my channel to be above that. I don't want to be.
Here. No, I've been offered like $5,000 or more for one sponsorship video, $5,000, and I turn it down just on principle, because I already earn enough through my other advertisements that I don't want to pollute my channel with sponsored content.
It kind of cheapens a channel. I mean, I know it's worked for like Linus Tech Tips. He kind of always makes a joke of it now, but that must earn them quite a lot. But it kind of fits in, and you just skip over that advert they do. But I'm
kind of guilty of getting sponsorships too.
You have to turn it into a joke. Otherwise,
you have to make it fun.
When I was talking to JLC PCB, I said to them right at the beginning, I said, I won't do baked in ads. I said, we'll have to do something else. So I don't do the baked in ads. I don't do those things where you put a 30-second segment in. I just won't do them. Yeah, but I will put their paraphernalia on my desk. I'm happy with that.
They'll say things like, the advertisers will say things, all we want is a 1-minute insert. But you think that 1 minute is going to drag. It's going to feel like an hour in one of my technical videos. So it doesn't really work. But you get those people that approach you and they say, hi, we watch all your videos. They're so good. We love them so much. We think this Amazon product's so good for you. And you look at it, it's a lipstick set for your handbag. And it's like, wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting like 1 or 2 of those a day now. It used to be a couple a week. Now it's like a couple a day. It's just ramped up.
But most of it is crap. It's like some Chinese company, and it's always some bullshit product. I've had a few offers from real companies. Like, I don't know if you use Knipex pliers.
Yeah. See, that'd be worthwhile, because Knipex is actually worthwhile, because that's what I do genuinely use at work, because ordinary snips won't last, under the arduous conditions of work.
Been using their tools for 15 years or something. So I had a video where I actually talked a little bit about their pliers. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was a very casual video. I had nothing. So I was just talking about my tools because viewers were asking about it all the time. And like last year or so, some agency contacted me, and this was actually serious. This was like, Knipex asked us if we could ask you to work with them. So that was the first time that I was ever tempted, and
see, I wouldn't have a problem actually advertising Knipex, because that's what I genuinely choose when I buy tools. Because when you've used other tools and they've just basically, you buy a pair of like side cutters and you hold them up to light and you close the blades and they don't meet all the way, then it's the difference between, if you're working with real electrical stuff, it's the difference between hand fatigue and no hand fatigue. Ultimately,
the thing is, I was very close to actually agreeing maybe to some kind of deal, because I was using their tools anyway. So,
see if you just ask them to send you a set of tools and then just make sure they're in shot every so often, which they would be anyway, because they'd see the logo on them as you use them, and just maybe.
It was a very fine line, because I was asking them basically this. I said, okay, if you pay me so and so much every month, I will just use your tools, but I will not make outright advertisements. and I was really, I don't know what I asked for. I think I initially asked if they would give me $1,000 a month just for using their tools, but never actually even mentioning their name, because that was someone else suggested that to me, who was also on YouTube, and they kind of agreed. They gave me the telephone number from the head of management or whatever at the company. But then he actually wanted me to also talk about how their products are superior to everyone else and so on. And it was like a slippery slope, you know. So, and I didn't want to get into that, because I know that a lot of my viewers love the brand. They want to use these tools. But the moment I come off as
a shill,
as a shill, I know that people will lose their trust in me.
It cheapens things, yeah.
My channel,
really don't disparage anyone who wants to take, like, if the difference is becoming a full-time YouTuber or not, and to do that you have to take the sponsored spots, then I don't blame anyone for, you know, wanting to do that, to have the lifestyle of being a full-time YouTuber. You know,
when this whole Corona thing is over, when this whole like pandemic is over, I might as well talk to them again, because my idea was to have like a very transparent approach to this. Like, I would go to the Knipex factory, which is actually just 100 kilometers from here. I would go there, take a look at the manufacturing, explain to people how the factory works and so on. And so people would see, okay, maybe this is like a partnership, and this would be out in the open.
That'd be good. That'd make a good video. Yeah.
And this is what I was thinking about, because they have a lot of cool stuff. They have like robots that are forging the pliers.
That'd be great.
But they're made by robots. They're made by robots. No, I'm not interested in your tools then.
That's the cool thing. They also bring two worlds together, like the world of traditional metalworking and high tech, and that's like two things that my viewers like. So that would be like a match made in heaven, and it's also still made in Germany. So that's all more or less I stand for on YouTube for my viewer, or for some of my viewers. So I thought that would be a good match, but at the moment I don't see. Like me going there, but maybe in a couple of months I will talk to them again. So that's the only thing I ever considered doing.
How would you bill for that? Would you do a one-off payment for the factory tour video, and then an ongoing payment monthly, say, for just having their tools in your shop?
Yeah, maybe that would be a good deal, you know. And,
if I was a smart businessman, like, you know how I said before, I've got an invite to the road factory, and you know, if I was smart, I'd go, well, okay, if you want me to promote your stuff, you know, and do a tour video, well, you know, pay me $5,000 or something. But I just do it because it's interesting, you know. I don't want payment for it.
They do ultimately benefit from that.
Do I benefit from what?
No, they ultimately benefit from that.
Oh, yeah, of course they do. Huge.
Every time you make a video about road, it advertises road.
I know.
Particularly if you speak favorably of them.
I'm so stupid. You know, I'm so bad at business. You know, I'm always, you know, I'll do a review of, you know, the latest Keysight scope, and I'm not taking any money. You know, it's like, you know.
So here's the thing about technical people in business. Technical people are always the absolute worst businessmen. And vice versa. You know, you're a businessman or you're an engineer, and that's it. You rarely find two that are actually businessman and engineer.
I'm making good money from my sponsorships, so maybe I'm a businessman.
You're combining them. You're a businessman and an engineer, Mehdi.
Well, if you are curious about how I do it, there is this guy, you can call it an agent. I don't know if he's an agent or not, but he brings me sponsorships. I only take the ones that I like personally and match my channel, like you know, educational stuff, Skillshare, Brilliant, you know. And I also have my own, like the Keysight, like Dave, I also work with Keysight. And like, if I need a tool for my videos sometimes and I don't have it, I approach the company and I say, okay, give me the tool. I show it in my video. And a lot of times I would just ask them to give me 10 more of the same tool so I can give away to my patrons or viewers, right?
Okay.
And that brings me a bunch of patrons too, if I give away to them.
Have you noticed how it actually, in the early days, doing a sort of a giveaway of things on your channel was quite easy, but now it's actually really hard because YouTube has clamped down on communication, direct communication, because I think people were using it as lotteries. basically. They were actually basically basing their whole channel, as happened in Patreon, because Patreon get hit by this as well, that some companies set up as basically gambling channels that if you subscribe to them, they ran a lottery and sent prizes out. It ruined it for the rest of us who actually really genuinely want to send things out. So it's really hard now. It's easy enough on Patreon. You can contact them personally and say, please send me your address. Although it's worth mentioning, if you do that as a private message on Patreon, and they reply to the email they get from Patreon, then you won't get that reply. You actually have to say in the message, you have to say, please reply on Patreon and not to this email. Otherwise, I just won't get it. But it used to be on YouTube, you could actually leave someone a message and then you could reply to them, or you could go to their page and you could reply to their email directly. But they cut down that because obviously some minority were using it as a sort of gambling system, almost like an online casino. And it ruined it for us, for who genuinely wanted to give technical tools and stuff to people.
Yeah. We can still do it for free. It doesn't need to be a gamble, right? Like, for example, when I give it to the viewers, I don't get anything back from them, right?
It's the fact that the companies that did it as gambling have made it harder for us to communicate with the viewers where we actually just want to give things like circuit boards and things away. It's made it harder.
You know what I did? These Google documents, I tell people, if you need this tool that I'm giving away, go there and register there, leave your email there, and I just draw from there and email them directly. So that
I saw you'd done that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I actually have an automated program that I say go to my forum and then put a post on my forum. I've got an automated picker program that can do that. But I normally say to the if some company wants to give me, like Keysight want to give me like 5 scopes to give away, then I say, well, I want, you know, 1 for my patrons. I want 1. I want 2 to give away randomly. I want another 2 for like 2 actually, and then I will pick who I give it to. Like I've even had like videos. Like if you want to win this scope, you know, post a video. And, you know, explaining why you want it, show me what you're going to use it for, and then I pick a worthy winner, you know, some hackerspace or some young kid or something like that. Because I'd hate to see, like, you know, somebody win it who already has 5 scopes. You know,
exactly.
You know, I kind of feel
obvious. It's very obvious that people are doing searches every night, like just average YouTubers, for competition, giveaway, prize, and they're doing search for that on YouTube to find those competitions, just enter them regardless, even though they're not technical. So asking for technical credentials is a good thing, because instead of just giving the stuff away.
Yeah, I don't like giving it away randomly. I want it to go, you know,
to someone who appreciates it.
When I was a kid, you know, geez, I would have killed for a, you know, like
Absolutely.
even a low-end scope. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the problem I've given up for the most part doing giveaways, because when I used to have a competition where people either come up with ideas or do a project, and the best project I'd do a giveaway to. And then I just had one person go, no, but you didn't say this. There were no, in the rules, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So that blew up. He like spouted rubbish all over the forum, all over the place. And then, so then I gave up. Then I did random giveaways. So then I gave away 2 or 3 scopes, and I think 2 of them one went to Romania and some other Eastern European country. And they arrived, and of course then they got tied up in their customs and what they had to pay to release them from customs. So then I'm feeling bad. I went in the cost of the shipping and I paid customs. I was just like, can't do this.
Yeah, like this the shipments is really a hassle. Well, first thing, they don't respond to you for like 2 weeks. You keep going after them. Hey, you want it? Do you want it or not? And then you ship it. Like I shipped to Turkey once, and I don't know, the scope is like $2,500, the Keysight scope, and the customs were trying to charge them $1,400 to release it. And I was sending it to a school too. Like I have a draw for schools as well. So I just asked them to return it. I asked them to give me a local shop, and I just bought it locally from Turkey and send it to them. It's easier.
Yeah, I've worked with companies where they will, who shall remain nameless because this might go public, they've like sort of it's a used scope, and it goes through their local dealer, so they're able to get it into the country of that person. They send it direct there as a intercompany transfer or whatever and then they give it away, and then they give it as a used scope. So there's
quite a high profile company.
Yeah, I suppose one answer to the customs and the technical thing is you send it out in multiple pieces, so they've got to send it themselves. So I've been a bit lazy. I've actually still got 2 Roden Schwartz RTB 2004s that I was supposed to give away, sat in the box.
Oh, really?
I haven't got around to. But also, I think possibly the same company that was referenced there is that certainly I think the scope, one of the scopes I have now, I know for a fact was hand carried through an airport rather than going to the city. And when I had a warranty, a fault that had to go back under warranty, apparently quite a lot of things people had to be contacted and tipped off that this warranty scope was coming back from a slightly unusual source, but it all worked out. I think we know who we're talking about. Sorry?
I often have the problem that people want to send me stuff from overseas, and I try to talk them out of it a lot of the times, because sometimes it's really cheap stuff where I think you don't have to pay $50 to get it over the ocean, which is, by the way, not good for the environment. And then I have to go to the customs office to pick it up and pay the fees for some crap inkjet printer from 1995 or something like that.
And they declare the value as just something really huge, just because they didn't really think that you were going to actually end up paying duty on the declared value.
Yeah, they think it's insurance
the original value in.
The problem is also going to the customs and explaining to them that people are sending you stuff for free, and that's why you don't have an invoice, because you're a YouTube star. And that's like, how often did that happen before at the local customs office, So you're that guy, like the first guy ever who comes up with that kind of story. And then they still want an invoice, because they always want an invoice. Nobody sends you stuff that's valuable and you didn't buy it. It's just a gift from someone you don't know. Come on. So, and that's like, and that's also on the other side of town. So I have to go in my car, drive there, sit there, pay money to get some old piece of equipment. So I'm trying really hard to talk some people out of sending me stuff from America. It's often American viewers. They want to see that stuff maybe in a video. I don't know, but
and then they send it anyway, and then complain when you don't show it in a video.
Yeah, so I feel really guilty because I'm in Australia, obviously on the other side of the planet to like everyone else, and I see like the postage on the thing, and it was like, oh, they spent $200 to send this to me for my mailbag.
They send you a bottle of liquor or beer, and it's like, you look at the posting and it's like, oh, and then you really you feel so guilty drinking it and things like that.
Oh yeah, every time I open a mailbag, I feel so guilty because they've spent, often 3 digits.
I will say, do you know, one of the worst of your mailbags I saw was when you opened it up, and this kid had obviously thought he was sending prized things, and he'd sent this old resistor to you, and you looked at him and said, oh, a resistor, and you opened the bag and you couldn't hide the expression on your face was, what the fuck is this? And it was like, that kid must have been absolutely devastated.
I know,
I'm sorry.
I feel guilty. Yeah. It's just, I know, because this, this stuff means a lot to, the person who sent it. And it's,
a lighter. I'm so grateful for this. Oh
yeah, I don't make my mailing public. Like, I sometimes receive emails that I have like 5 transformers, do you want them or something? One of them had a huge ballast transformer, 5 of them. I said, okay, just send me one of them if you really want to. He was insisting to send me all the 5. I said, okay, just send me one. He sent me one, and customs charged me like $20 for an old transformer.
Yeah, you know what I think would be a much better idea than people sending us this stuff would be like, why don't people have these local groups? Like, for example, there is a group of like electronics people in Arkansas. I don't know. And if one of those guys has an old TV that he wants to get rid of, maybe there's a 16-year-old, like a town 10 miles from that, and he can pick it up, And I would wish that my viewers would rather share their stuff among each other locally than send it to me when I don't need it, So, and
can I just say, talking about old TVs, those old TVs when everybody went LCD and everybody stuck their TV out in the curb? those cathode ray tubes in those televisions suddenly became collectible because they were pretty much retrofit into all the retro video games that people want to keep original.
Yep.
So suddenly those old TVs that were just willy-nilly before have suddenly, that old burst television is actually huge value now just for the cathode ray tube in it.
And
I don't want to talk down
LCDs.
on CRTs. It's just an example.
Yeah, I just got contacted like a month or two ago from a guy here in Sydney who makes retro arcade cabinets, and he always wants it's so hard to get apparently, the old LCD monitors, the old like 15-inch jobs and things like that. And he's seen my dumpster diving videos where I get like this huge number of these dumped, LCDs, and he said, "Can you collect them all
People are
for
so
me?"
suspicious,
like,
by the way.
Yeah. Really? Of my dumpster diving, they think it's fake.
Yeah, they're suspicious. They think that's staged dumpster diving, but it just seems you find so much treasure in your dumpsters. I find.
The only thing I've ever staged in the dumpster is the $200,000 Keysight scope.
Okay. All I find is old oil burners. Yeah, people just can't believe because I'm in like my dumpster room serves like 3 different buildings here, and like there's 100 different companies or whatever, 80, 100 companies, and they're all just they all just throw out their stuff. Damn.
So,
I wish I could get dumpsters like that.
It's magical.
Commercial dumpsters are a lot better than like the ones you see like residential.
They are.
Oh yeah.
The throwaway threshold is a lot lower.
PLCs. Industrial control equipment that's just treasure.
Folks, apologies, I have to leave. I've got to travel home and the sun's gone down and it's below freezing.
It must
here.
be late on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, it must be late in Germany.
Yeah, same here. I've also got a call of the day. Quite frankly, my girlfriend is sitting next room and she's probably wondering.
2 in the morning there.
It's 2 a.m. Yeah.
Oh,
invite her in so we can talk to her.
That's not.
When we started this, she like peeked on the screen to see you guys. I don't know if she saw you, but she must be hearing me because I'm screaming at the.
At 2 a.m. in the morning, and she's.
Yeah.
It's
no,
only 12. It's only 12 o'clock here, midday. So
it's probably roasting warm as well where you are.
1 o'clock in the morning here, but that's fine. That's normal hours.
1 o'clock in the morning and freezing cold.
Well, thank you, gents. I appreciate that.
Thanks for setting it up, Mark.
No worries. Yep. I'll now have to go edit this and probably put it on my second channel or something. Just
we should mention just so ElectroBoom knows that we were recording this and it may kind of get shown. So if there's any bits you don't want shown, we have to just make that clear because ElectroBoom doesn't know that.
Well, just add a disclaimer. My English is bad. If I say anything that offends anyone, it's because of my English. I didn't mean it.
And we certainly don't want to offend people, do we?
Can you not offend people on YouTube? That's the question.
It's impossible. Don't even try.
You can please some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. Mike, you said you had something to rival my supercomputer.
Oh yeah, I'll turn on my.
See you, Martin.
I plug my camera into a
Martin's out of
extension.
I'm out of the building.
Mobile here. Anyway, I probably need to keep talking to get the thing.
Just know that we are analysing your surroundings here.
Yes.
We're checking out your workshop.
Those shelves go right to the ceiling. I like that.
Well, I'm jealous all of you guys have workshops. I just have a 10-foot by 10-foot room as my office. That's all I have.
You've not discovered shelving and component cabinets yet. You need to discover those.
It seems like I'm the only one who's got a dedicated commercial lab.
You are. When I first moved over here, I wanted a barn. With a porta cabinet to live in, but just a big, huge space for all the stuff. But it didn't happen.
Hey, Clive, how tall is your ceiling?
Well, I'm 6'4", and the ceiling here is not very big. It's a bungalow, and it's like there's this depth of perception thing. You think those component cabinets are the other side of the room, but they're not. They're
Exactly.
right here.
Yeah, I thought
And
they
it just
were
kind
all
of
the way
ruins
back
things a bit.
there.
I'll just plug my headphones in. They just unplugged.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were in a
Whoa,
huge
what's
room
that,
until
Mike?
you touched something.
Yeah.
There we go. We've got another big art installation
Yeah.
thing.
Wow, Mike.
If I'll just keep talking for, I'll do the quick sort of panorama.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
It's
3D.
three-dimensional. It's big digital clock. I like your clock. I'm jealous of your clock, actually.
My headphones won't quite reach. What was that, Clive?
I'm jealous of your clock, just for a start. But I like your 3D bouncing ball thing.
I've done a video on that. The original one was a 1.2 meter cube.
Okay.
There is a video of that. This is just a few spare bits I've just stuck to. The problem is that I started on the wall and I've had to sort of expand up to the ceiling. But I'll do a bit of detail. Where are we?
You've covered your microphone, so we can't hear
Sorry,
you.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, hang on. I'm understanding the microphone.
Hard to tell what any of this stuff is.
I
It's
do
blurry.
recognise them from the videos.
It looks like one of those alien encounter videos.
Hmm.
No, we can't hear you, Mike.
Head out of the camera.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I can't see anything because I'm using
This
my
is one of the
phone.
strangest projects I've ever done. This was actually part of a dodecahedron with cameras
All right,
and LED
okay.
panels.
That's cool.
With a camera in the middle of it. It's a pentagonal RGB matrix display, which was about the only 6-layer board I've ever done, actually. These are the Heathrow Airport strips, round display, and a few other.
Okay, looks good.
How
How do you find sourcing good quality LEDs? Because these
general.
days,
Sorry?
how do you find good sourcing good quality LEDs that are reliable? Because
Brand names Osram, Avogo, Broadcom. Yeah, if it's in DigiKey, I trust it.
how much does it cost you typically for LEDs when you're buying in bulk from prominent sources?
For a lot of the stuff I do is white, and even in DigiKey, they're under 2p a piece.
Oh, that's all right.
And RGB maybe 10p for a brand names if you're buying by the reel.
Okay, but you're getting predictability when you do that. You're not
Yeah.
getting like my shitty supercomputer where everybody points out every week how many LEDs have gone out in it because they're
If you look at the cost of the whole
eBay
project,
shit.
I tend to do the cost of the LEDs themselves is relatively low compared to the cost of everything else. It's not worth saving a penny or two on those. It just isn't worth it. It's not worth the risk.
no. The cost of going back with an aerial access platform to service something is huge compared to the cost of just using the best quality components you can in the first place.
Yeah. And also in terms of, we've generally only got one chance to get it right. We do a few prototypes, and then the production run, that is the only chance we have, and it's got to be right. We don't have the time or the budget to do any serious amount of long-term testing or whatever. It's just, design it, build it, install it, and next job.
eBay and AliExpress are just China's dumpsters. They're just like the scrap. You're getting shit from them. There's no guarantee of quality at all.
No.
But eBay shit is fun.
Oh, yeah.
It is fun, yes.
Well, someone
It's
here
fun.
has made a whole channel about it. Makes a whole career out of it.
eBay
I'm gonna have to
shit
shoot,
is very
guys.
popular.
I'm going to say bye-bye. It's getting late. The girls
Okay.
are
All right,
asleep.
thanks, Julian. Yeah, we should
I'll
probably
see
go.
you
Like,
next time.
we've got like 3 hours. I've got to edit like 3 hours
Yeah.
worth of footage or something.
Oh, has it gone on that long? Yes,
Yeah.
it has. Yeah.
Yeah, we started at, it's now midday. We started at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So, 9:30.
Yeah, sorry, I was late to the party.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Cool. All right, guys.
Kind of almost
Good to catch
disappointed Fran didn't turn up, but that's okay.
Oh,
Because I was
yeah,
hoping
right.
Fran would turn up too,
Yep.
but that's okay.
Did she say she was going to turn up, or did she not respond?
No, not respond. So,
Okay. Yep.
May just been awkward timing.
All right. Cool. Good to catch up, guys. Awesome.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Yeah.
We should do
All
it
right,
next time
so
again.
So this video will be on my second channel.
Okay.
Edited.
With the
Make us
smut-
look good.
with the F words bleeped out. Sorry.
Nah, bugger that. Let's offend everyone
Yeah.
equally. We'll offend everyone equally.
Yeah,
Anyway.
equal offense.
Before I go, to the technical family, which is just what we are, but it's just, if you know, have you noticed that it's a common group around us all that share the common channels? I call them technical family because we pretty much are. I just thought I'd throw that in because it's worth saying.
I feel loved.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Catch you next time.
Yeah.
Take
Good
care.
night
See ya.
or good day. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.